I didn't choose him. The flickering starts small, just a shimmer across my fingertips, like heat rising off asphalt on a summer day. Then it intensifies, blue-white energy crackling between my knuckles, painful and electric. I clench my fists, trying to make it stop, but that only makes it worse. The power surges up my arms, burning through my veins like liquid fire. That's when the vision hits. I'm not in my apartment anymore. I'm somewhere else, somewhere dark and cold. I can see him.
Kale.
Standing in shadows that seem to bend around him, like they're afraid to touch him. His eyes find mine across the impossible distance, silver and knowing, and I feel it. The pull. That goddamn pull that makes my chest tighten and my breath catch, and every rational thought in my head scatter like leaves in a storm. No, I whisper. No, no, no. But the bond doesn't care about my protests. It never has. It tightens around my ribs like a fist, drawing me toward him even though he's not physically here. Even though this is just a vision. My body doesn't know the difference. My body wants him. And that's what makes this a curse. I slam my fist into the wall, welcoming the sharp pain that cuts through the supernatural pull. The vision shatters. I'm back in my apartment, breathing hard, my knuckles bleeding. The energy fades from my hands, leaving them shaking and weak. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any of this. But apparently, fate doesn't give a damn what I want. The alley is dark when I find myself there an hour later. I don't even remember deciding to come here. My feet just carried me, following some invisible thread I can't see, but can definitely feel. The bond knows where he is. The bond always knows. I hate it. The air is thick with tension, heavy with the weight of something about to happen. Steam rises from a grate in the ground. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wails. And then he steps out of the shadows, and every nerve in my body lights up like I've been struck by lightning.
Kale.
He's exactly as I remember from the vision, tall, impossibly composed, with silver eyes that seem to see straight through every wall I've ever built. He's wearing all black, which somehow makes him look even more dangerous, and there's this aura of power radiating off him that makes the air itself feel different. You feel it, don't you? His voice is low, almost gentle. That makes it worse somehow. Feel what? I snap, even though we both know the answer. That curse you just put on me? He actually smiles at that. Smiles. Like my suffering is amusing to him. Like this bond that's tearing me apart from the inside is just a game. I didn't put anything on you, Aria. He takes a step closer, and I feel the pull intensify. My body leans toward him before I can stop it. The bond chose us. Both of us. I don't care what chose what, I say, forcing myself to step back. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing along with some cosmic matchmaking scheme that thinks it knows what's best for me. It's not about what's best. Another step closer. The bond hums between us now, visible almost, like heat shimmer. It's about what is. I try to leave. I actually turn around and try to walk away. But my legs won't move. My feet are rooted to the ground, and my body is screaming at me to turn back around, to close the distance, to give in to what the bond wants. Let me go, I whisper. I'm not holding you. His voice is right behind me now. Too close. That's the bond. And the sooner you accept it, the easier this will be. I whirl around, and suddenly we're inches apart. I can feel the heat radiating off his skin. I can smell something dark and woodsy that makes my head spin. And worst of all, I can feel my body responding to his proximity in ways that make me want to scream. Easier? I laugh, but it comes out broken. You think this is hard for me now? You have no idea what you've done. What this is going to cost me. Something flickers in his silver eyes. For just a moment, I see something that might be understanding. Or maybe sympathy. Then it's gone. I know exactly what it costs, he says softly. I'm paying the same price. I don't go home after that. I can't. The bond is still pulling at me, making my skin feel too tight, making every breath feel like work. So instead, I go to the one place I swore I'd never return to. My mother's house. The childhood home looks exactly the same as it did the day I left. White picket fence, blue shutters, flower boxes in the windows. It looks normal. Safe. It's a lie, of course. Nothing about this house was ever safe. My mother opens the door before I can knock. She's aged since I last saw her. More gray in her dark hair, deeper lines around her eyes. But those eyes are still sharp as glass when they fix on me. I wondered when you'd come, she says. Why didn't you tell me? I don't bother with pleasantries. We're past that. About him. About the bond. About what was going to happen to me. She steps aside, letting me in. The house smells like lavender and old secrets. Would you have believed me? She asks. That's not the point, isn't it? She moves into the kitchen, putting a kettle on like we're about to have a normal conversation. Like I didn't just accuse her of ruining my life through omission. You were always so determined to be different, to escape the family legacy. If I had told you about the mate bond, about what runs in our bloodline, you would have run. And running wouldn't have changed anything. So, you just let me walk into this blind? The anger is rising now, hot and sharp. You let me live my whole life thinking I had a choice, when the entire time, you were destined for it, she interrupts. Yes, just like I was. Just like my mother before me. The mate bond is ancient, Aria. It's woven into our DNA. It's not something you can outrun or refuse. It simply is. I want to throw something. I want to scream. But instead, I just stand there, shaking. You had one too? I say quietly. A mate bond. What happened? Her hand freezes on the kettle. For a long moment, she doesn't answer. When she finally turns to look at me, her face is carved from stone. It ruined my life, she says simply. I fought it. I tried to break it. I did everything I could to escape it. And in the end, it destroyed everything I loved, including your father. The words hit me like a physical blow. Dad wasn't your mate? No. Her voice is barely a whisper. Your father was a good man. A kind man. I loved him as much as I could love anyone who wasn't. She trails off. But the bond doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about choice. It just takes and takes until there's nothing left. Then why? I'm pleading now. Why didn't you warn me? If you knew it would destroy my life. Because maybe you'll be stronger than I was. She meets my eyes, and for the first time, I see real pain there. Real regret. Maybe you'll find a way to survive it. Or maybe you'll break it properly. I don't know. But I do know that you can't run from it, Aria. The harder you fight, the more it will hurt. I leave without another word. Because if I stay, I'm going to say something I can't take back. Because she's right, and I hate her for it. Because I can already feel the bond tightening, calling me back to him. The mansion appears out of nowhere, like it's always been there, and I just never noticed. It's all stone and iron, gothic and imposing, set back from the road behind gates that look like they could withstand a siege. I don't remember deciding to come here, but the bond led me, like a compass pointing north. The doors open before I reach them. Kale is waiting inside, standing in a grand foyer that's all marble floors and vaulted ceilings. Candlelight flickers from iron sconces on the walls, casting dancing shadows across his face. I knew you'd come, he says. Don't flatter yourself. I force myself to stay near the door, maintaining distance even though every cell in my body is screaming at me to close it. I'm here for answers. That's all. Are you? He tilts his head, studying me. Or, are you here because the bond won't let you stay away? I hate that he's right. I hate everything about this. The bond is irreversible, he continues, moving closer. Each step he takes makes my pulse quicken. You can't escape it, Aria. No matter how hard you try. No matter how much you hate it. But I can teach you how to control it. How to use it instead of letting it use you. And what's the price? I ask. What do you want in return? That smile again. The one that makes my stomach flip. Obedience. The word hangs in the air between us like a challenge. Like a threat. I don't obey anyone. I say. You will. He's right in front of me now. Close enough to touch. The bond is singing, electric and alive. Because the alternative is so much worse. You feel it already, don't you? The pull. The need. It's only going to get stronger. And if you keep fighting it, it will tear you apart from the inside. Then let it. I whisper. Let it destroy me. It's better than becoming someone's puppet. Something dark flashes in his eyes. He reaches out, and before I can pull away, his fingers brush my cheek. The contact sends shockwaves through my entire body. I gasp, hating myself for the reaction, hating him for knowing exactly what he does to me. You say that now, he murmurs. But when the bond really takes hold, when you're so consumed by need that you can't think straight, can't breathe without me near you, can't exist without my touch, you'll beg me to teach you control. I slap his hand away, but the damage is done. My body is trembling, responding to him in ways I can't control. Ways I don't want. I'll never beg you for anything. We'll see. I turn to leave, but his voice stops me. There's something else you should know, he says. About the bond. About what happens if you try to break it. I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. But I can't help myself. What? Breaking it comes with a cost. His expression is serious now, all traces of amusement gone. A price that's far worse than the bond itself. If you try to sever the connection, you won't just lose me. You'll lose yourself. Everything that makes you who you are will be consumed by the magic required to break something this ancient, this powerful. My blood runs cold. You're lying. I wish I was. He moves to a shelf, pulling down an ancient-looking book. The pages are yellowed, the text written in a language I don't recognize. But the illustrations are clear enough. Figures consumed by black flames, faces twisted in agony. The mate bond isn't just a connection. It's a fundamental alteration of your soul. Breaking it means breaking yourself. And most people don't survive it. I stare at the book, at the horrifying images, and feel something crack inside me. Because he's right. I can feel it in my bones, in the way the bond has already woven itself through every part of me. This isn't something I can just cut out like a tumor. This is who I am now. So I'm trapped. I say flatly. Is that what you're telling me? I'm just supposed to accept this? Accept you? Give up everything I wanted for my life because some cosmic force decided we belong together. I'm telling you the truth. He closes the book gently. What you do with it is up to you. I leave then. Actually leave. And this time, he doesn't stop me. But as I walk away from that mansion, feeling the bond stretch and pull and ache with every step, I know one thing for certain. This is only the beginning of my nightmare. 3 days pass. 3 days of me trying to go back to normal life, pretending I can just ignore what's happening to me. I go to work. I see friends. I maintain the fiction that I'm fine. But I'm not fine. The bond is getting stronger. Every hour that passes, I can feel it tightening, demanding. My skin feels sensitive, like every nerve is exposed. I can't focus on anything. Can't sleep. Can't think about anything except him. It's the 4th night when things get really bad. I'm in my apartment, trying to sleep, when the pain starts. It begins as a dull ache in my chest, right where I imagine the bond to be anchored. Then it spreads, burning through my ribs, down my arms, pooling in my stomach like molten lead. I try to breathe through it, try to ride it out, but it just keeps getting worse. My phone rings. I know who it is before I look at the screen. Make it stop, I whisper when I answer. Come to me. Kale's voice is rough. The bond is trying to force us together. The longer you resist, the more it will hurt. I don't care. You will. A pause. I'm hurting too, Aria. This isn't one-sided. The bond punishes us both when we're apart. I want to say I don't care about his pain. Want to hang up and throw the phone across the room. But I can barely breathe. The agony is so intense that black spots are dancing in my vision. Please, he says quietly. Just come here. We don't have to do anything. Just being in the same space will ease it. I hate that he's right. I hate that I can already feel myself reaching for my keys, heading for the door, letting the bond drag me back to him like I'm on a leash. But I hate the pain more. The mansion is dark when I arrive. The doors are unlocked. I find him in a room on the second floor, sitting on the floor with his back against the wall. He looks almost as bad as I feel, pale, shaking, that usual composure cracked and broken. As soon as I step into the room, the pain eases. Not completely, but enough that I can breathe again. We don't speak. We just sit there on opposite sides of the room, letting the bond settle now that we're in proximity. This is insane. I finally say, I know. I can't live like this. I know. I look at him then, really look at him, and see something I didn't expect. He looks as trapped as I feel. As miserable. As angry. You didn't want this either, I realize. The bond.
Me.
Any of it.
No.
He meets my eyes. I had a life before you.
Plans.
A future I'd carefully constructed. And then the bond activated, and everything I'd built came crashing down. There's something almost comforting in that admission. In knowing I'm not alone in this nightmare. What do we do? I ask. I don't know. He runs a hand through his dark hair. But we need to figure it out fast. Because there are people, things, that will try to use this bond against us. And if they succeed, being trapped together will be the least of our problems. I stay that night. Not because I want to, but because the bond won't let me leave. We maintain our distance, me on one side of the room, him on the other, but it's enough. The pain stays manageable, bearable. The next morning, everything changes. I wake up to Kale standing at the window, tension radiating off him in waves. We have a problem, he says. Before I can ask what, I feel it. A disturbance in the air, like reality itself is rippling. And then I see them, shadows moving in the forest outside. Too many to count. All of them heading this way. What are those? I whisper. Hunters. His voice is grim. They've found us. Found us? What do you mean? He turns to face me, and I see real fear in his eyes for the first time. The mate bond makes us powerful, Aria. More powerful than either of us would be alone. But it also makes us targets. There are creatures in this world that want to harness that power. Use it for themselves. And they'll kill us both to get it. The shadows are closer now. I can hear them, inhuman sounds that make my blood run cold. We need to go, Kale says.
Now.
But before we can move, the windows shatter. Glass explodes inward. And suddenly, the room is filled with darkness and teeth and claws. Kale moves faster than I can track, putting himself between me and the creatures. Energy explodes from his hands, the same kind of power I've seen in my own, but controlled, weaponized. Stay behind me, he orders. But the bond has other ideas. I can feel it surging, pushing power through my veins whether I want it or not. My hands light up with that blue-white energy, and suddenly I'm fighting too, blasting back creatures that look like nightmares made flesh. We move together, like we've trained for this. Like we're two parts of a whole. The bond synchronizes our movements, our power, making us stronger than we should be. But there are too many of them. A creature gets past Kale's defenses, lunges for me. I throw up my hands, but I'm not fast enough. I'm going to die. Right here.
Right now.
Then Kale is there, taking the blow meant for me. He goes down hard, blood spreading across his shirt. And I feel it. His pain. Like it's my own. The bond screams, demanding I protect him. Demanding I save him. And before I can think, before I can rationalize or resist, power explodes out of me in a wave that obliterates everything in its path. When the light fades, the creatures are gone. Turned to ash. Kale is still on the ground, bleeding. I drop to my knees beside him, my hands shaking as I press them to his wound. You need to trust me, he says through gritted teeth. This bond makes us stronger. But if you keep refusing it, if you keep fighting what we are, they'll come for us again. And next time, we might not survive. My hands are glowing, that strange energy flowing into him, healing him. I don't know how I'm doing it. I just am. I don't trust you, I whisper. Then trust the bond. His hand covers mine, because right now it's the only thing keeping us alive. The wound closes. His breathing steadies. But my head is spinning, my entire worldview cracking apart. This is real, I say. All of it. The bond. The power. The danger. Yes. And if we don't work together,
We die.
he sits up, wincing. Both of us. That's the reality we're living in now. I want to argue, want to find some way out of this, but I can still feel the echo of his pain in my own body. Can still taste the terror of thinking he might die and knowing, deep in my bones, that if he did, I wouldn't survive it. The bond has made us one. Whether I like it or not, we leave the mansion. It's not safe anymore. The hunters know where to find us. Kale drives us to a place he calls a safe house, deep in the forest, warded with protections I don't understand. It's smaller than the mansion, more intimate. There's only one bedroom. I'll take the couch, Kale says. Don't bother. I'm exhausted, my body still trembling from the power I unleashed. The bond won't let us be that far apart. Not after what just happened. He doesn't argue, because he knows I'm right. We end up on opposite sides of the bed, as much distance as we can manage while still being in the same room. The bond settles, satisfied for now. Tell me something, I say into the darkness. Your heart. You said it's not entirely your own. What did you mean? Silence. For a long moment, I think he's not going to answer. I had someone, he finally says. Before the bond activated. Someone I cared about.
Loved, maybe.
I don't know anymore. But when the bond shows you, those feelings just vanished. Like they never existed. Like she never mattered. I turn my head to look at him. That's horrible. That's the bond.
His voice is hollow.
It doesn't just connect us. It rewrites us. Makes us incapable of caring about anyone else the way we're forced to care about each other. So we're both prisoners. Yes. I stare at the ceiling, processing this. I had a life too. Plans. I was supposed to start a new job next month. Move to a different city. Build something for myself that wasn't defined by anyone else. I'm sorry, he says quietly. And I think he means it. Me too. We lie there in the darkness, two people bound together by a force we can't control, mourning the lives we'll never get to live. Morning brings new problems. I wake up to find Kale at a desk, surrounded by ancient texts and scrolls. His expression is grave. What is it? I ask. I've been researching. He doesn't look up. Trying to find anything about breaking the bond without the catastrophic consequences I told you about. My heart stutters. And nothing. He finally meets my eyes. Every text, every account, every story, they all say the same thing. The mate bond is unbreakable. Attempts to sever it result in death, madness, or something worse. What's worse than death or madness? Becoming something that's neither alive nor dead. A shell. An empty thing that exists but doesn't live. He stands, moving to the window. There are stories of people who tried, who succeeded, technically. But what was left of them? It wasn't human anymore. I feel sick. So we're stuck. Forever. Unless we can find another way.
He turns back to me.
The texts mention one thing. One possibility. But it's dangerous. Maybe impossible. Tell me. There's supposedly a place called the Temple of First Bonds, where the mate bond magic originated. Some accounts suggest that there, at the source, the bond might be negotiated, changed, maybe even broken without destroying us. Hope sparks in my chest. Where is it? That's the problem. His expression darkens. The temple exists between worlds. Finding it requires a ritual. A dangerous ritual that could kill us just as easily as free us. But it's a chance. A slim one. I stand, moving toward him. The bond hums between us. Always there, always pulling. It's better than nothing. Better than spending the rest of our lives like this. Trapped, hunted, forced together. You hate this that much? There's something raw in his voice. Being bonded to me? I hate not having a choice. I correct. I hate that my body responds to you whether I want it to or not. I hate that I can feel your pain and your emotions and your presence like a second heartbeat in my chest. I hate that I'm not my own person anymore. And if I told you I feel the same way, he steps closer, that this bond has taken everything for me too, would that change anything?
No.
I hold my ground even though the bond is screaming at me to close the distance, because we're not in this together by choice. We're prisoners in the same cell. That's not the same thing as being partners. Something like hurt flashes across his face, but he nods. Then we'll find the temple, he says. We'll break this bond, and we'll both get our lives back. It should feel like victory, like hope. So, why does it feel like I'm agreeing to lose something I didn't know I wanted? The preparation for the ritual takes days. Kale gathers materials, herbs I don't recognize, crystals that pulse with their own light, texts written in languages that hurt to look at. I help where I can, but mostly I just watch, feeling the weight of what we're about to attempt. The hunters attack twice more. Each time, we fight them off, the bond making us powerful enough to survive. Each time, I feel us getting more synchronized, more in tune with each other's movements and thoughts. It's terrifying how natural it's starting to feel. On the third night, Kale tells me we're ready. The ritual has to happen at midnight, he explains. We'll need to create a circle of power, channel the bond's energy, and use it to open a doorway to the temple. And if it goes wrong, then we die. He says it matter-of-factly. The ritual requires us to essentially weaponize the bond against itself. Channel all that power, all that energy, into a single moment. If we lose control, it will consume us. Great. I try to smile, but it comes out shaky. No pressure. He reaches out, then stops himself. Aria, if you're not ready, I am. I cut him off. I have to be. Because the alternative is living like this forever, and I can't do that.
He nods slowly.
Then we do this tonight. Midnight finds us in a clearing in the forest, standing in a circle of crystals and candles. The air is thick with power, making my skin prickle and my hair stand on end. Kale faces me across the circle. His eyes are silver in the moonlight, reflecting something that might be fear or determination or both. Once we start, he says, we can't stop. The ritual will take hold, and we'll have to see it through to the end. Whatever that end might be. I understand. We'll need to join hands. Channel the bond's power between us. I swallow hard. Okay. We step toward each other, meeting in the center of the circle. When his hands take mine, the bond flares to life like a star-going supernova. I gasp, barely staying on my feet as power floods through me. Focus, Kale says, his voice strained. We need to control it.
Direct it.
I close my eyes, trying to do what he says. But the power is overwhelming, wild, threatening to tear me apart. I can feel everything, his fear, his hope, his desperate need for this to work. And underneath it all, something else. Something deeper. The bond doesn't just connect us. It's showing me his heart. And what I see there makes my breath catch. He doesn't just hate the bond. He hates himself for what it's done to me. Hates that he's the reason I've lost my freedom. Hates that every time I look at him, all I see is my prison. Kale. Don't, he says roughly. Just focus on the ritual. The power builds, spiraling between us, around us. The air itself starts to crack, reality splitting at the seams. I can see it now, a doorway forming, leading to somewhere that looks like a temple carved from starlight and shadow. It's working, Kale says. We're almost. The ground shakes.
Hard.
Something is coming. Something massive and angry and drawn to the power we're radiating like moths to a flame. We need to go through. Kale shouts over the rumbling.
Now.
But before we can move, the earth splits open. A creature emerges, bigger than anything we've faced, made of darkness and fury and hunger. It roars, and the sound rattles my bones. Kale. I know. He pulls me closer, our hands still joined, power still flowing. We fight it together or we run. Choose. The creature lunges. We have seconds to decide. And in that moment, with death bearing down on us, I finally understand something. The bond might have forced us together, but staying alive? That's a choice we make together. We fight, I say. And we do. Power explodes from our joined hands, hitting the creature with the force of a bomb. It staggers back, wounded but not defeated. We don't let up. Can't let up. Because if we stop channeling this power, the doorway will close. Our only chance will be gone. The creature recovers, charging again. Kale moves, positioning himself between me and the threat. "What are you doing?" I scream. "Keeping you safe." His voice is calm.
Too calm.
"Get to the temple. Break the bond. Live your life. Not without you. Aria." "No." I pull him back, refusing to let him sacrifice himself. "We do this together or not at all." Something shifts in his expression. In the bond. Like a wall coming down. "Together," he repeats. We turn to face the creature as one. Our power merges, becoming something greater than the sum of its parts. We strike together, and this time, the blast doesn't just wound the creature. It obliterates it. But the backlash is too strong. The power we unleashed ricochets, slamming into us both. I feel myself flying backward, the world spinning, Kale's hand torn from mine. I hit the ground hard, pain exploding through me. The doorway to the temple is still open, flickering but holding. I can make it. I can crawl through, break the bond, end this nightmare. But Kale is on the ground too, not moving. The bond twists in my chest, screaming that something's wrong, that he's hurt, that I need to help him. I could ignore it, could choose freedom over whatever this is. But I don't. I crawl to him instead, pulling his head into my lap. There's blood on his face, and his breathing is shallow. "Kale," I whisper. "Stay with me." His eyes flutter open. "The temple."
Go.
"Shut up." I press my hands to his chest, that healing energy flowing without me consciously calling it. "I'm not leaving you." "Why?" The word is barely a breath. "You hate this." "Hate me." "This is your chance." "Because I choose this," I interrupt. "Not the bond."
Me.
"I'm choosing to stay. I'm choosing you." The words hang in the air between us, truth and revelation, and something that feels terrifyingly like commitment. The doorway flickers, starts to close. "Aria." I know. I help him sit up, our eyes locked. We're letting it go. The chance to break the bond. Maybe the only chance we'll ever get. "You'll regret it." "Maybe." I touch his face gently, feeling the bond settle into something that feels less like a prison and more like possibility. "But I'd regret leaving you here more." The doorway closes. The temple vanishes. The ritual is over. And we're still bonded. Still trapped. Still together. But somehow, it feels different now. We make it back to the safe house as dawn breaks. Both of us are exhausted, battered, running on nothing but adrenaline and stubbornness. Kale stops in the doorway, turning to face me. "Why did you really stay?" he asks. "The truth." I could lie, could fall back on some excuse about the bond forcing my hand. But I've spent weeks lying to myself. I'm tired of it. Because somewhere between hating you and fighting beside you, something changed. I admit. I still don't like that the bond chose for us. Still hate that we didn't get a say. But you. I trail off, searching for words. "You're not what I thought. You're not the villain in this story. You're just as trapped as I am. And maybe we can make something bearable out of this impossible situation." "Bearable," he repeats, something like a smile tugging at his lips. "That's a start. Don't push it." "Wouldn't dream of it." He reaches out, tentative, and when I don't pull away, his fingers brush my cheek. "Thank you. For staying. For choosing this even when you had a way out." "Don't make me regret it," I say, but there's no heat in it. "I'll try not to." We stand there, the bond humming between us, no longer fighting it but not quite accepting it either. Existing in the space between resistance and surrender. It's not perfect. It's not what either of us would have chosen if we'd had the option. But it's ours. And maybe, eventually, that will be enough. But peace never lasts. I'm in the kitchen 2 days later. When I feel it, a disturbance in the bond. A spike of fear from Kale that's not his own. I run to study and find him staring at a letter, his face ashen. What is it? He hands me the paper. The handwriting is elegant, old-fashioned. The message is clear. We know what you are. We know about the bond. And we're coming for you both. The power you possess belongs to us. Surrender, or everyone you've ever cared about will pay the price. It's unsigned, untraceable, terrifying. This is why I try to stay away from you, Kale says quietly. This is why I fought the bond too. I knew this would happen. Knew that being together would make us targets. Make us weapons that people would want to control or destroy. How many people know? I ask. About us. More than I thought. He crumples the letter. And they're organizing. Working together. This isn't just random attacks anymore. This is war. I feel cold all over. What do? We run. We hide.
No.
I cut him off, surprising myself with the certainty in my voice. No more running. You said the bond makes us powerful. Then we use that power. We face them. We fight. Aria, you don't understand what we're up against. Then explain it to me. I step closer, forcing him to look at me. Because I'm done being a victim. Done letting other people dictate my life. The bond chose us?
Fine.
Let's make them regret coming after us. Something sparks in his silver eyes. Pride, maybe. Or recognition of a kindred spirit. You're serious. Dead serious. I hold out my hand. We're in this together now. For real. So let's show them what that means. He takes my hand, and the bond flares between us. Not painful this time, but powerful. Electric. Ready. Together, he agrees. And as the sun sets outside, painting the sky in shades of blood and gold, I realize something. I didn't choose the bond. Didn't choose him. Didn't choose any of this. But I'm choosing what comes next. And that makes all the difference. The war is coming. The hunters are gathering. The people who want to use us, control us, destroy us, they're out there, planning, preparing. But so are we. And they have no idea what they've unleashed. The bond might have chosen us. But we're the ones who will decide how this story ends.